A friggin' mullet that would make Patrick Swayze jealous, a mustache that would make Burt Reynolds cry, possibly one of the most chadliest characters we have in modern BJJ. Today, Mr. Kenta Iwamoto, the Japanese Chad, the samurai Chad, the way of the warrior, underrated Chad in my book, okay? In this video, we're going to be covering his great defense, his great takedowns, and some of his great passing and great leg lock attacks for a Chad. Also, he's got a lot of lore, alright? This man is an enigma and is very, very interesting, okay? So we're going to dive into some of his lore as well, and what makes Kenta Iwamoto a freaking gigachad. Alright, let's dive into it. Alright, Chad, so first up, we're going to go over some of Kenta's takedowns. For those of you who don't know, Kenta is a judo black belt coming from a very intense judo background, so he's got some slick takedowns on the feet. Also has some wrestling experience, making for a great little combination of no-yellow wrestling and judo mixture. So let's dive into this takedown. It is at the ADCC Asia Oceania Championships. I believe this is the final. And this guy tries to hit a fireman's carry on him. But Kenta does a good job kind of maintaining balance and cartwheeling over the man during the fireman's carry. Let's watch that again. Fireman's carry is kind of a bad move for jiu-jitsu, okay? It leaves both your arms exposed for the crucifix. Looks cool, high risk, low reward. And so Kenta kind of capitalizes on this mistake. Watch this. Boom. Nice fireman's carry. But Kenta cartwheels over him, looks to take the back, doesn't get the back, but beautiful, doesn't panic, doesn't show any signs of danger, just follows the man and uses it to get into his own offense. Absolutely beautiful by the Japanese B team member. This next one here, he's going against Joseph Chin. They're both very young. Also, peep the rash guard, meathead jiu-jitsu. That's a chadly freaking rash guard. But anyway, once again, Asia Oceania trials. They're gunning after it. I believe Kenta actually wins this match, so he has a win over the Joseph Chin, the protege. And just check out, we see his judo on display here, so we'll just watch this. They're both in that overwrap position, and he does a good job of pulling him in and foot sweeping him there. See here, they both get into that over-under body lock position. He pulls him in, sucks him in, and uses that foot sweep. Excellent, excellent takedown by Kenta there. Once more, we see his beautiful judo on display at CJI. This is against Kyle Bain, where he stepped in for Levi Jones-Leary for the 77 kilogram spot. He goes against Kyle Bain here in their first duel against 10th Planet. He's in this underhook wrist control position. By the way, look at the lower half of this man. He's got a stout posture, stout muscle. Probably what makes him hard to submit, which we'll get into later. But anyway, let's dive into this judo. He goes cross foot sweep, pulls with that wrist, cross foot sweep, makes the big man weightless and gets the easy takedown there. Beautiful cross foot sweep from the underhook position. Let's see that again. Boom. Just an excellent, excellent judo technique there. Everybody's obsessed with judo nowadays. Want to learn all those judo techniques. Kenta's giving it to us. Here we go. Once more, he's going against JT Torres, the two-time ADCC champion. First round here, coming off JT's second ADCC win. So just watch this. It's not a great single leg takedown, but he's so damn strong. He sucks it in, and he's able to hit the dump finish and take JT down. So boom. Not a great shot, but works himself up into a good position. JT's fighting the hands. Kenta does not panic. Within the first 45 seconds of the match, too, he's just got one arm on it and is able to hit the dump finish. So let's watch that again. Watch this. He's on his knees, kind of in a bad position, able to gain height, head posture. Sucks in the leg. Great dump finish there by the Japanese superstar. You know what I'm saying? He's also competed at AIGA a bunch of times. Here he's going against Oliver Taza, a great new wave black belt, or nowadays Kingsway black belt, and hits a nice reshot here off Taza's attack. Boom. That was nice. He times that beautifully. As Taza's coming up with that lead leg from his single leg, Kenta hits his own single leg. Beautiful, beautiful re-attack. So here Taza looking to pull guard probably, but shoots a single leg, gets lazy. Kenta comes in on a single leg of his own and is able to sit the man down and secure the 2 points for a takedown. Excellent re-attack. Textbook re-attack by Kenta. Good, solid wrestling. Nothing flashy besides the nice judo trips, but the man's got some solid wrestling and judo on the feet. That's pretty fun to watch. Now, next up, we're going to go into his beautiful defense. All right, this man has got excellent defense. He is in the double underhook position, but Mika looks like he's setting him up here. He hits a great little foot sweep into a cross foot sweep. taking Mika down, but Mika counters with that flying, what do they call it, coyote armbar. So yeah, elbow passes it, foot sweep to knee pick, but Mika counters it. Also, in that Oliver-Taza match, Oliver gets some good looks at the legs here. Here he's in reverse X against Kenta, but Kenta showing off his gyrospheric abilities and is just hanging out there, not worried, not letting that leg get down for a cross ashi. But there he keeps the knee wide and forces Taza to 50-50, not allowing him to get into inside ashi. By the way, look at those small feet. Those are small feet on a largish 77 kilogrammer. Gonna be hard to footlock that, slip his foot out of there. Taza goes under, and then Kenta freezes knee line, freezes leg. Just a little, almost impossible to leg lock there. Just freaking slipping in and out like a ninja. Next up, we got his freaking leg lock attacks. He's got some decent leg lock attacks for a wrestling top player, all right? First up, we're going to show this leg lock. It's in a like a teams event in Polaris. I think it was like the Americas versus Asia Oceania. But here he is. He's going against Gabriel Souza. No soft cookie. He's a tough cookie. And he kind of hits this horsecock false reap entry, all right? Very interesting into the knee bar, just cranks on that thing. But yeah, like look, he's got that inside leg weaved in for the false reap. That bottom leg's not cleared. And instead of having this arm in the inside, like a traditional false reap, he's kind of got like an overhook grip on it. Still gets the job done here to clear that bottom foot and into the knee bar. And yeah, that's a tap. So the excellent little leg lock he's got there. And he likes that false reap position. And now we're going to get into the infamous hog lock, okay? But he hits it from the same inside false reap position. Hog grip. There it is. Look at that. Grabs the package right there. Grabs his own wiener. You know, he's Asian. You know what they say about Asian wieners? Freaking incredible. So now let's get into this man's lore, all right? So he trains at B-Team, right? And we know how much of a cardio machine Nicky Ryan is, all right? He's got cardio for days. And he just got done doing a high heart rate round with Kenta. Kenta, he looks pretty tired, but he's recovering. Nicky Ryan says to the cameraman, "Is there a trash can?" And so the cameraman bolts for the trash, grabs some trash. And this is what happens when you roll with Kenta in practice, all right? He pushes you to your physical limits because he's a gigachad, and he's making Nicky Ryan puke, all right? You know what I'm saying? This is what happens when you go around with Kenta in the practice room. He's going balls out. He's making you vomit. That is Chadley as it gets. You gotta love it. What makes his lore even more incredible, all right? Look at this title. Look at the title of this article, all right? B-Team's Kenta Iwamoto opens up on the traumatic experience training judo as a kid. Coach would choke me out in sparring, all right? Holy buckets. Also, look at this picture. Incredible picture throwing up the rock on. That is incredible. But anyway, revealing conversation on She'll Be Right. And I have no idea what that podcast is, but further adds to his lore. He's going on feminist podcasts. That is incredible. Shared insights into his martial arts journey, including trouble in early judo age, blah, blah, blah. Who has been making waves of competitive jiu-jitsu, blah, blah, blah. Judo in Japan is tough. I prefer wrestling, Iwamoto admitted. About his relationship with his coach. Looking back, because I can use the technique that we trained, it's good. But at the time, I was still a kid. All right, so even though this was a traumatic experience, he still says, you know what, I'm glad I did it. It is an excellent experience for me, and I'm glad I have that technique in the arsenal. He's willing to sacrifice having a traumatic experience in order to have the great technique. I mean, can it get more Chadley than that? What followed was a troubling account of punishment that would be considered abusive by today's standards. If you do something bad in the school, I was playing cards with a friend and you're not allowed. And then going back to the dojo, the afternoon training started just inspiring. He'll choke me out. Jimmy Christmas. Playing cards, he's a kid, and got choked out. Holy buckets. Japan is the home of judo. Even more disturbing was his revelation that his coach would choke him to sleep, and then the coach would wake you up and do it again. Holy buckets. That could be traumatic to the brain. This was common practice in career. It happens often. It used to a lot. Well, not now, but back in the day. Okay. Preference for wrestling over judo later in his development in martial arts. Despite these challenging beginnings, he has gone on to excel in grappling and train exclusively in multiple disciplines. Beyond his martial arts training, he studied physics for 6 years, including 4 years of undergraduate studies and 2 years in graduate school. Specialized, so he's freaking smart as hell, too. What in the world? Oh my gosh, it just adds even more to his lore. He's a physicist, 6 years, graduate school. Lived in New Jersey for 2 years as a child due to his father's military position in Japan's self-defense. Jimmy Christmas. He has an undefeated MMA record of 3-0. What? Gosh, what a freaking chat. I didn't even know he did MMA. I'm learning more and more about the freaking gigachad as we speak. Oh my gosh. You never would have guessed it. Just a happy-go-lucky fella, you know? So, I mean, the guy's full of incredible lore. Does it get much better than that? All right, Kenta Iwamoto, if you don't know, now you know. Watch this man, root for him. The incredible mustache, the incredible mullet, the incredible physique, physicist of 6 years. I mean, come on, man. What else? What is there not to love of this incredible Chad? All right, comment down below what you like best about Kenta's game. I'll see you, Chad, later.